You remember the story, don't you, all my dear queers, about how it was in the streets of Greenwich Village in 1969 when people peacefully met once again at the Stonewall Inn for a few drinks and to dance with each other and to celebrate the truth of their loves and their lives. When the New York Police Department, New York's finest, came out of nowhere with paddy wagons as they'd done so many times before and announced that they were shutting down the Stonewall Inn for everybody to line up and have their identification and give their names because they were going to be carried off and booked at the local precinct station. But there was one woman, a lesbian, and the way that she was described in everything that I have read is that she was a stone butch dyke. They tried to push her into a paddy wagon, and she resisted. And when a New York policeman beat her on the head with a billy stick, she hollered out, "Help me! Why don't you guys do something?" And that was all that it took. It was the spark that fell into the tinderbox, and all of a sudden the streets of Greenwich Village exploded. It first was carried forward by the transgender people and the street kids. They were the ones who stood for liberty first. And when the police came in force from the precinct stations all over Manhattan, there were chorus lines, just like the Rockettes, of flaming dykes and flaming cross-dressers and flaming glitter kids. And they kicked to the high heavens and sang a song to the tune of the theme for Howdy Doody Time. We are the Stonewall girls. We wear our hair in curls. We wear no underwear. We curl our pubic hair. There was no ability for the New York cops to shut it down. And for better than a week, rebellion broke loose in the streets. And it was for us, our Lexington and our Concord. It was the shot heard round the world. We were coming out of our closets. We were coming out of our night. We were stepping out into the day. Full equality or nothing. Now today, we have our own stone walls, as some of my honored speakers have said this evening already. The last time that I stood before a group of LGBT Texans this large was 11 months ago at a rally that was pulled together by Queer Liber Action in the streets of Fort Worth, Texas. You remember that story, don't you? How the Fort Worth Police Department and the TABC, hot to trot to send a message to the LGBT community, came rolling in with paddy wagons ready to take people down to the station. They lined people up. They put handcuffs on them. They threw people on the ground and they broke Chad Gibson's head. They thought that they were sending a message to us. But instead, they were setting the stage for us to send a message back to them. And the message a year ago was, we will not let you divide us into Dallas and Fort Worth and the mid-cities anymore. We are one queer community, and we will not put up with it anymore. We will stand up in the city council, and we'll be carried out. We will not shut up in the streets or on the steps of the Tarrant County Courthouse. And just like we have heard the word ringing through the skyscrapers of Dallas, Texas, we will not be denied until true and full equality belongs to every American. What I want you to remember is that you came out tonight because you understood that nobody else was going to do it for you. And you came out here tonight to fight for your own life. When we stand up for marriage equality in Texas and around the nation, we are fighting for our lives, and we are not going to back down. when we stand for a fully transgender inclusive employment non-discrimination act, we're not going to back down because we're fighting for our lives. When we are calling for the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, we won't back up and we won't back down because we're fighting for our lives. When the GOP calls us criminal or sinful and want to put us back in the closet, we stand up and we say no more because we're not going to put up with it. We're fighting for our lives. When we stand up and we say that we're going to see to it that Cedar Creek Lake becomes a no-hate zone once again, where gay men and lesbians do not have to fear being harassed and have their property vandalized, we're fighting for our lives. Tonight, you and I have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to stand up and say to Dallas, Texas, and to Fort Worth, and to our friends across the street, and to anybody else who wants to deny full liberty to everyone, we know what is at stake. We're fighting for our lives. We won't back down. We won't give up. We won't show it up. We won't go back. One of our African-American forebears, Frederick A. Douglass, said that there would never be any rights given to people voluntarily if we are to receive the human rights that we have been endowed by our Creator and we have been ensured by the provisions of the United States Constitution, then we are going to have to do what is necessary to take it for ourselves. So tonight, Stonewall became you, and you became Stonewall. I want to wish you well in the struggle for justice. Just look around. 41 years worth of sisters and brothers are standing right by your side. God bless you, everyone.